Okay, while this is loading up, I may go fast forward, may reverse, may speed up, may slow down, and will stop. I will try not to use names of tanks that are involved because we generally know who the people were. That's not going to achieve anything. But whatever the case is, do not take this personally. We learn from our mistakes, and this is how we're going to learn and develop what we need to do in team battles. You can see from the initial placement, the heavies are going to go on to the 6, 7, 8 line, and that's what I'm going to talk about is the heavies. That's my tank down there, number 13 in the front. So wherever 13 is at, that it will be my tank. You can see as we move out, we're moving generally into this area here, just below all these houses here. Okay, we got 2 tanks lagging behind. That's fine. That's going to be because of the way the tanks dropped on the landing. Now here you can see what the spread out is. Okay, this group of heavies has already spotted 2 lights down here, a Batchat and Object 140. Eventually this Object 140 is going to retreat back into the city. The Batchat's going to roll around this way. Somewhere in here is a Patton, and that Patton will get identified shortly, and then he will also move back up into this way. What probably occurred is that with this Object 140 being down this area here, he was spotting the tanks in this bubble area here, so that these AMX 50Bs would have targets and be able to shoot on them. This is a somewhat trap that we maybe fell into, but at the same time, it's not unrecoverable from. And what you'll see happen is one of the tanks that we have will come down this way and go after that Object 140 by himself. These tanks here, as they move in here, instead of an order is given for them to flank the lights, but instead of moving like a V, like from this point to about here and then back up again quickly, we make a U shape. And because we make that U shape, we take a little longer to get up there than we needed to. We needed to get up there quickly. Okay? At the very least, a quick left-hand turn in here, or a very shallow V down to this area and back up. We came too deep this way and made this U shape. Okay. At one point, one of the tanks calls out that we have this lone wolf down here by himself, which is probably okay because this tank saw that will see that Object 140 and chase after him. And when he makes that call though across comms, all our guys hear that and they think, oh, we got one tank in trouble, and so a natural response is to try to help that guy. And you'll see that, and I'll point that out. Okay? So all the guns turn away from these guys and point on these 2 when our main focus should have been them. Let this guy here deal with that 140. He keeps that 140 tied up. If we can eliminate these guys and then go back and get that 140 later, we can. That 140 is not going to hurt all of these guys up here, but he will spot for the AMX 50Bs down there. And if he's not busy or not, this guy here was keeping him busy and tied up. All right, let me run this.
Цель понял. Есть отставить.
Now you can see there goes the M48 Patton back in the position we were talking about. The Object 140 is running back to the town. Okay, and at the same time, the Batchat's disappeared. Down here is this one tank down here by himself. The word is given for the part of the group to push. That's the start of the bathtub move. Okay? That's the start of the bathtub move. Got one tank out of here by himself. He's heading out towards the east. Everybody else is heading towards the east. When the callers realize that we're going too deep, goes out and says, "Hey, you need to turn around and move to the south now." So that's what we did. Our tank started going south, and that's where we're at now. So here's the line. Got a line of tanks basically this way. We still got one tank down here on the south edge of this building by himself. He's probably going after that 140. He saw him up here. He's going after him. These guys right here, though, in the bathtub, okay, instead of coming this way and back up, they kind of start heading that way. But as you watch, you'll see what happens. So you can see the bathtub is going up. Got two tanks going up. One of them takes a shot from the town. He turns and looks. One tank's still going north. We just fired towards the town. One of the rear tanks fired towards the town. That's probably okay. He's still pointed in the direction of heading to the southwest. So it still looks like he's going to support, what be part of that tank force of 5 tanks going to face the west. One tank fires. We spotted a couple tanks out to the west. No, we're doing okay. 3 tanks up there. Now at this point, probably across the comms, the word comes that, hey, we got one tank out there by himself, okay? And so the issue is that we got this guy here, and 3 tanks up here. This guy right here, he's looking towards the town, okay? He's looking towards town, all right? The guy behind him and almost directly behind him, he's looking towards town. So 2 of the 5 guns are way off to the east looking towards town, okay? Now, one of the things I have, this mod where the arrows are right down there, the purple arrows behind the mini map right there, okay? Those purple arrows, those arrows indicate enemy tanks that are spotted and that have shots on us. Right behind this guy here, you'll see a purple arrow and a green arrow behind him. The green arrow is another tank, does not have shots on us yet, okay? So look at the tank placement. 3 tanks up there facing the west. 1 tank, 2 tanks facing towards the town. 1 tank partial the way up the hill. 1 and the rear tank going towards town. Now, at this point, one of the 3 tanks up top backed out and is beginning to move his turret towards the town. At that point, we have 2 tanks facing 9 tanks to the west and 4 tanks with their turrets and the guns all concentrated on 1 tank, the Object 140. And you can see the concentration of fire that they have on the 2 tanks up there. So at that point, we've had two tanks immediately eliminated. And now the other 2 tanks that were further towards the east, they're starting to come up also now. Okay? And they're getting railed by the guys on the west. Okay? And 2 tanks are in town over there fighting the Object 140. The Object 140's been eliminated, but now, since he's been eliminated, the tanks in the east are starting to come back into the fight, but we just lost another tank, so there's one tank up there, and they're starting to press from the east, or from the west to the east. And you can see the results of that. Now, it's only natural that if a call goes out across the radio, that one of our guys is in trouble. Okay? That is a natural response to that. But unfortunately, if we do something like that, we have to let that one individual go to maintain mission integrity and keep the mission going for what we have. There were a couple mistakes made here on this play, and that's fine. It's going to happen, and that's how we learn. The starting mistake was didn't make that V formation and didn't get there fast enough. The next thing was we should have waited until we all were all together and then gone up. And when we have one individual, one tank going out to take a one-on-one with somebody else, we should probably let that happen and go ahead and let that individual take care of himself in an effort to put the pressure on their forcer. But because we didn't, then this is the end result. They were able to, we separated ourselves and allowed them to get the mismatch. It's okay. This is how we learn. And when we do this again, then we'll have a pretty good idea of what to do and what not to do.